Hello everybody. Mahmood Arzanzarin, I'm sorry if I do not pronounce his name properly, sent me a link to this page and said he wanted to model such a hair straightening comb but has given up. Because I think this is quite an interesting thing to do, I thought I'd do a tutorial. So if we look at it on these pictures, then one thing we can see is that this area here seems to be straight. I have to do a little bit of guesswork, and here we seem to have a little bend in it. The other thing which I think is that the length of the comb and the length of the grip are more or less the same. Now on the bottom side we have first a department for the spring, which I will not model because I have other tutorials which show how to model springs, for example the shock absorber one. Then we have another compartment here, and as it looks, the comb itself and the bottom part of it are just plugged into the grips. We can see this better here. And here we see that on the bottom part we have 9 of these holes, and that's about everything we have to think of. And let's do it and switch to Modo. I found another background image which I have. Let's have a look at it. It's called Fix Messy Hair Brazilian something. I don't think there are so many more pictures on Google Pictures with this name, so you will find it. I rotated it a little. I scaled it down to 4% to have real world dimensions, and I made it 85% transparent. In addition, I put in this polygon here as a reference to get an idea about how long and how tall the grips have to be. So let's move this to where it belongs, to about here. And I don't need the backdrop for the time being. And I Shift C, make a cut through here, but with snapping, and make this about a square, like so. Then I give this another name, call it background, N for a new mesh, and no need to see the grid. And I start with a circle with 8 edges or 8 sides, and make this about 11 by 11 millimeters. And let's zoom in here so we see it better, and make this like so. Now I can bevel this and delete also these polygons here. Then we can select these edges, Z key, R key and W key, and align it with our background. Do the same here, Z key, R key, W key, and align it to here. Now we can select these two edges, Z key again, and move it up to here. And no need for the background anymore. And now I can make this end a bit smaller, maybe 40%. And then Shift C, put an edge through here, X to enable snapping, so Shift C again, and cut through here, then a cut through here, and remember, first comes the part where the spring is in, then comes a little crossing, then comes a longer part with nothing in, and a crossing here again, and then the part where we see the end of the come, and I make a last one through here. Then we can select these edges here, B for bevel, make sure you have the square option, but L first, and then we can bevel this. Let's zoom in here, about so, yes. And because we want to bend the top here, we cannot leave it like this. This would look terrible. But first I make a stray cut through here, and I think another one, a single edge through here. Okay, let's make sure we have no problem when we bend this. So I select two vertices in here, up arrow key to here, and now we can go to vertex, align with the uniform, okay. And now you see we have down here, we have the sharp edges we need to make the openings, and up here we have even spacing, which allows us to bring in a radial fall off, maybe from here to, we will see, to here, W key, and lift this up like so. Let's see. Now we can press the escape key and get rid of this, go to polygon mode, Shift X, and bring this out till the back here is more or less a square. I select these polygons, B for bevel, bevel them in a little, delete, select this inner part, R key, bring it in to here, then I can add a single edge here, and that's okay so far. Good. Now here I put in Alt C, two edges with symmetry, drop the tool, reselect this, drop the tool, reselect. So we have this 3 times. Now we can select these polygons, 1, 2, 3, B for bevel, no, sorry, too early, Shift up arrow once, and now we can bevel it. And on the blue handle, bring this to about here. Now I can select these edges here, and these ones, Alt C again, okay. And let's see how this looks. That looks pretty good. Yeah. Now I can add in Alt C, a single edge here, and another one here. Then select these polygons, B for bevel, bevel them in, select Seneca Menard's perfect circle script. I wouldn't know how to do without this. This should be part of Modo really. Then we can, the bevel tool is still active, so Shift click and bevel it in to about here. Then we can delete these edges, backspace delete, select these polygons, L key, Shift X, and click in here and bring it up on the green arrow to about here. Now we can select 1, 2, 3, 4, L, B key again, still with the square shape, and now this is the holder for the spring. I make it relatively easy. Okay, so this is the grip done. Now let's do the comp. I need the background for this and make a new mesh and call the old one, this is the grip, and the new one will be the comp. Okay, so I go to the right view, and first I need to make this edge straight. So grip again, select all these, R key, like so. Good. Now back to here, and then I press F11 and select snapping to geometry with vertex mode, and then make a square from here to here, and then snap to here. Okay, now we can turn snapping off again, and because we need exactly the same dimensions for the lower part, I make a copy of this before I continue. Now we can bring this edge to where it belongs, to here, and then first bring down this vertex, W key, to about here. Now we can Shift C, cut through here, and another one through here, and another one through here, and through here, like so. Now we can bring this down here, W key to here, yeah, not so bad. And then we need the single T thing here, so Alt C must be an even number, so uniform, and probably 38 or 40 is probably the right number. I think 38 looks better, so I select every second up arrow key, and you see here it matches till about here, and then we get pretty big distortions of the background image. So Shift select this one too, Z key, bring this down to here, and also here you see it's not very precise, but as I said, it's just to give the right proportions. So good. Then I put a single edge through here, select this one, W key, bring it to about here, then select this vertex here, W key, and bring it to here, and do the same on this side. So single edge through here, W key, or select this vertex first, W key, and bring it into here. Good. Now I want to bevel this completely and make sure we don't get the problem down here at the end of the teeth. So we can do this about like so, then I select these polygons and these ones and delete them. Go to edge mode, select these edges, R key, bring them down to 0, select these, R key, bring down to 0 on the Y, and now we need to put in these holes. So I select an edge in here, Alt C, but only with 3 and uniform, and to get nice holes we need to have equal distances here. So first I straighten this edge and I straighten this one, R key, and now we can select these vertices, up arrow key, and go again to vertex, align with the uniform option, select these, up arrow key, and Control R to repeat the last command, and do the same here. And now we have nice squares all the same distance. Now let's see how this works out. I select this here, shift select this one, up arrow key, and again we get pretty big distortions here towards the end, so it means I have to start a bit earlier. Take 6 here. Okay, that's not so bad. Seneca Menar's perfect circle again. Now we go to Action Center Local, R key, and make this a bit smaller and more oval, like this. Then B for bevel, and bevel it in and delete. And this is perfect. It is good enough. But here we need an additional edge, so Shift C. Let's see, that's better. And I think I do the same down here, Shift C, maybe a bit higher up. This is a comb and not a knife. And we like to have round edges, like so. Good. Now, Action Center Normal, and then the T key, and bring these to where we need to have it. About so. Good. Now the top is good. Maybe we need an additional edge in here, like so. Good. Now we can select this part, Shift X, and bring it out to a distance which makes more or less squares at the bottom of the teeth, like so. That's good. Now we can go to top view and center select it in X, and do the same with the grip. Okay, back to the comb, and now I use the last part here, R key, make it wider. Now I click in here and Control click here, till this matches. About so. Okay, how does that look? Not so bad. Now we can add in 2 edges in here. Just 2, and symmetry. About so. Yes, nice. And then shift up arrow, B for bevel, bevel it in just a little, shift click and bevel it out and delete. And I add another edge in here. Yes, and now this should sit nicely inside the grip if I wouldn't have moved it to the wrong position. Anyway, let's put it back where it used to be. I think I need the work plane, the grid, W key, move it up to here. Yes, that's good. Okay. Next, I make this bottom part. So back to the COM and move it W key, move it to here, and then we can select this edge here, W key, and bring it to here. Good. Now I make some cuts through here, so Shift C, cut through here, and another one through here. Shift. That's a problem. There is something selected, and Shift C only works on the selected parts. So do it again. Shift click to here, and now we can use the transform tool with the T key. Bring this down a bit, this one up a little, this one to here, this one to here, and this one to here. And I think I make another cut here through the middle. Then we can bring down this vertex a bit and make it a bit more round, like so. Good. Now I go to top view and center selected on X, Shift X, was maybe a bit too early. Anyway, let's do it again. Center selected on X. Now R key again and zoom in down here. And then Control left click and drag to make small movements only till it matches, like so. Good. Next I make a cut through here. We don't need the backdrop. Alt C with the count of 2 and symmetry, and do it just outside the top part. And then on the side view I make Shift C, a straight cut through here, and another straight cut through here. And now we can select this middle polygon, this one, and bridge them. And I don't need the grid, and I hide the top, so H to hide, 2, Alt C, count of 1, do the same in here, Alt C, count of 1, and now we can remove this part here. Maybe you remember from the picture, and then put a polygon in here, so select this edge here and this one, bridge, then we can select these, deselect the first and the last, and doesn't work, we need to have an edge in here first, like so. Now we can bridge this and do the same here, deselect and bridge. Good. Now you remember we had 9 kinds of hole. I don't know what they're good for, probably so it's not so easy to clean. So Alt C, and we need 18 uniform cuts through here. Then we can select these, up arrow. Now we have these 18 edges, L again, B for bevel with the square shape, like so. Now we can do the same as we did on the top, but only with 2 and symmetry. And then select these again, Alt C, and again a third time, like so. Now we can select this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then shift up arrow, B for bevel, and on the blue handle pull it down a bit to about here, and let's have a look. Yeah, it's not so bad. We need an additional edge in here and one down here. That's fine. Now let's put a single edge in here, Alt C, count of 1, and a single edge in here, top view. Then we can select the back part of this geometry and delete it. Then go to duplicate, mirror over X, apply, and let's vertex merge automatic 20 have merged. Yes, that's fine. Perspective. Now this is done, and we need to also how is that? We don't see it. That's good. Can I select these polygons here, B for bevel, bevel it in, make sure that we don't get the problem, like so, shift click, bevel it out and delete, and put a single edge in here and another one in here. Okay. Next, I go back, unhide. to the grip and duplicate mirror over Y, apply, then I hide the top one, go in top view again and make a single polygon in here. To about here and here. That's okay. Then I select this one, Alt 2 to convert to edges, and B with the square shape still, and make this like so. Now I give this a material, M, call it pink, give the grip a material, M, call it grip. Then we can bring our background in quickly, go to the right view and press the E key, but I want the gizmo to be here, and control rotate it 15 degrees down here. Okay, and now we can go back to the COM and W, bring this down. I want to zoom in here. Click in here so we get the gizmo and bring it to here about, then E key, and I rotate it around here. Then W key again, to here, and it should be nice and inside. So perspective, there is one last part missing. We don't need the background, but we need all the grips. So unhide. We do need the background, sorry. And I make this knob or whatever it is called. So Control left click and drag this out to about here and bring it to 0 on the Y, W key, to here. Good. Now perspective, that's not so bad, that's good. Now I select an edge in here, Alt C, count of 2 and bring this to here. I forgot something, I must give this a material, M, this must be pink. Then I select these polygons, L key, B for bevel on the blue handle, bring this out to about here. Yes, then I select an edge in here, next one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and L key and B for bevel again, and bevel this a little, and now I reselect this here, L, shift up arrow, M, and call this grip. And now we are done. So no need for the background. Let's press the D key to subdivide everything and do the same in the COM. and go to the render tab. So A key, and the grip I make black plastic. Okay. And this is grip. And pink material is pink, so let's make it pink. And M pink. And then I would like to go up with the render level to 4 or even 6 and make a nice studio environment. This one, make this bigger. Control Enter, and as I said, I don't want to model the spring, although I would have one in my presets, but for time reasons I will not do it, so let's render this. So, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it and it helped a bit, or it could show one or the other trick I use when I model. I would like to wish all of you happy holidays and all the very best in the coming year 2015. Thanks again for watching, take care and have fun modeling with Modo. See you some other time. Bye bye.